What happens when you eat 4 eggs every day? I am a doctor, and I am going to explain the truth about eating eggs every day that nobody is telling you. If you search, "Are eggs healthy?" or "Eating eggs every day benefits?" you will find 1,000 different answers. But here is what actually happens inside your body when you eat 4 eggs daily, and the results will shock you. Most people think eating eggs every day will raise cholesterol and cause heart disease. That is completely wrong. The science on eggs and cholesterol has been debunked, but nobody knows the real truth about what 4 eggs a day actually does to your testosterone, your brain, your muscle growth, and even your fat loss. I am talking about changes that happen within 72 hours of eating eggs consistently. Real changes at the cellular level that affect your hormones, your metabolism, your vision, and yes, even your performance in the bedroom. But here is what you need to know. If you eat eggs the wrong way, you will waste the most powerful nutrients and potentially harm your health. So in this video, I am breaking down the science of eating 4 eggs every day, the benefits of eggs that doctors do not talk about, the side effects you need to avoid, and exactly how to eat eggs for maximum results. This is not just about egg nutrition. This is about transforming your health with one simple food. And gentlemen over 50, I have something special for you. Comment active right now, and I will send you my free 30-day workout plan designed specifically for men over 50, because your health is not just about eating eggs every day, it is about how you move your body. Now let us crack into the truth about eating 4 eggs daily and what the science really says. Stay until the end, because the last benefit is something 90% of people have never heard of, and it could change your life. The cholesterol lie that destroyed eggs for 50 years, and why your doctor was wrong. Let us get one thing out of the way immediately, because if we do not address this, you will spend this entire video worrying about your arteries instead of learning how to optimize your biology. The idea that eating eggs raises your cholesterol and destroys your heart? That belief did not come from good science. It came from a researcher named Ansel Keys in the 1960s, a man so convinced of his theory that he cherry-picked data from 7 countries while ignoring data from 16 others that contradicted him. It was junk science dressed up in a white coat, and it sentenced eggs to nutritional prison for half a century. Here is what actually happens when you eat 4 eggs every day, and this has been confirmed by over 40 clinical studies since the year 2000. Your liver is not stupid. It is actually one of the smartest organs you have, which is ironic because we treat it like a garbage disposal. Your liver produces about 75% of the cholesterol in your body on its own. It does this because cholesterol is not the villain. It is essential. It builds every single cell membrane in your body. It creates your sex hormones, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone. It produces vitamin D when sunlight hits your skin. It makes bile acids so you can digest fat. Your brain is 17% pure cholesterol. Without it, you would not have memories, mood regulation, or cognitive function. So when you eat 4 eggs, which contain about 1,080 milligrams of dietary cholesterol, your liver does something brilliant. It downregulates its own cholesterol production. It is called homeostatic regulation, which is a fancy term for your body is not an idiot and knows how to balance itself. Multiple studies, including a massive meta-analysis published in the British Medical Journal in 2020, reviewed data from over 1.7 million participants and found zero association between egg consumption and heart disease in healthy individuals. Zero. In fact, they found that people who ate up to 1 egg per day had a 12% lower risk of stroke. But it gets even better, and this is where it gets juicy. Eggs do not just fail to harm your cholesterol profile, they actually improve it in 3 specific ways. First, they raise your HDL, the good cholesterol, the stuff that acts like a garbage truck in your bloodstream, picking up excess cholesterol and taking it back to the liver for recycling. Second, they transform your LDL particles. Now stay with me because this is critical. Not all LDL is bad. There are 2 types: small, dense LDL particles, which are like tiny angry bullets that can embed themselves into your arterial walls and cause plaque. Then there are large, fluffy LDL particles, which are like beach balls, too big to cause damage, and they just float on by. Eggs shift your LDL from the dangerous small type to the harmless large type. Third, eggs reduce triglycerides, especially if you are eating them instead of carbohydrate-heavy breakfasts like cereal, bagels, or muffins. High triglycerides are one of the biggest actual risk factors for heart disease, and eggs help crush them. But let me tell you what really happens in the first 72 hours of eating 4 eggs a day. And this is something most people never feel consciously, but their bodies absolutely register. Your cellular membranes start to stabilize. See, eggs are loaded with phospholipids, particularly phosphatidylcholine, which is the primary structural component of every cell wall in your body. When you flood your system with high-quality phospholipids, your cells become more resilient, more flexible, and better at communication. This means better nutrient absorption, better waste removal, and better hormonal signaling. Translation: you feel less inflamed, you recover faster, and your energy stabilizes. This is not placebo. This is biochemistry. And if you are over 50, this becomes even more critical because your body's ability to synthesize and repair these membranes declines with age. Now, here is the kicker that nobody talks about. Eggs contain a nutrient that 70% of people are deficient in, and it is one of the most important molecules for fat metabolism, liver health, and brain function. It is called choline. We're going to come back to this in detail, but just know this. If you have stubborn belly fat that will not budge, brain fog that rolls in every afternoon, or a fatty liver diagnosis, there is a very good chance you are choline deficient. And 4 eggs a day delivers over 600 milligrams of choline, which is more than half of what your body needs daily. But we are just getting started. What happens to your muscles, hormones, and energy systems within 1 week? All right, let us talk about protein, but not in the boring way every fitness bro on the internet explains it. Yes, eggs have protein. Yes, protein builds muscle. Cool. Everyone knows that. But here is what they do not tell you. The protein in eggs is fundamentally different from the protein in chicken, beef, or fish. And the difference is so significant that it changes how your body responds at the hormonal and metabolic level. Most animal proteins come from muscle tissue. Chicken breast, steak, salmon, these were all muscles that moved, worked, and contracted. Their proteins are structured for mechanical function, which makes them dense and fibrous. Your body has to work harder to break them down. Eggs, on the other hand, were not designed for movement. They were designed as a complete biological package to build an entire living organism from scratch. That means every amino acid, in perfect ratios, in the most bioavailable form possible. Eggs have a biological value of 100. That is a perfect score. Beef sits around 75. Chicken is 79. Even whey protein, which gym rats worship, only hits around 96. Eggs are the gold standard. But here's where it gets wild. Eggs are one of the only whole foods that significantly boost your body's production of a protein called albumin. Albumin is your blood's transport system. It carries hormones, vitamins, fatty acids, and drugs throughout your body. Low albumin is linked to fatigue, weak immunity, and poor recovery. When you eat 4 eggs a day, your liver uses that incoming protein to synthesize more albumin, which means better nutrient delivery, better detoxification, and a stronger immune response. This is why people who start eating eggs daily often say they feel more vibrant within a week. It is not just the protein. It is the upgrade to your entire internal shipping system. Now let us talk hormones, because this is where things get really interesting, especially for men over 40. Eggs contain a specific type of cholesterol that your Leydig cells in your testes use as the raw material to produce testosterone. Yes, you read that right. Cholesterol is the direct precursor to testosterone. No cholesterol, no testosterone. It is that simple. A study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that men who consumed whole eggs post-workout had a 40% greater increase in muscle protein synthesis compared to men who consumed egg whites alone, and the difference was attributed to the hormonal response triggered by the fats and cholesterol in the yolk. But it is not just about testosterone. Eggs also provide the building blocks for thyroid hormones, which control your metabolic rate, your energy levels, and your body temperature. They supply selenium, iodine when the hens are fed properly, and the amino acid tyrosine, all of which your thyroid gland needs to produce T3 and T4 hormones. If you have been struggling with unexplained weight gain, cold hands and feet, thinning hair, or chronic fatigue, your thyroid might be starving for the nutrients that 4 eggs a day provide. And here is a benefit that blindsided me when I first researched it. Eggs improve your body's ability to burn fat while you sleep. How? through a process called lipotropic activity. The choline, methionine, and inositol in eggs help your liver package and export fat, preventing fat accumulation and promoting fat oxidation. This is why eggs are a staple in cutting diets for bodybuilders. They do not just preserve muscle. They actively help your body preferentially burn fat for fuel. Combine this with their ability to stabilize blood sugar. You are not spiking insulin every 2 hours like you do with toast or cereal. And you have a food that fundamentally reprograms your metabolism toward fat burning and muscle preservation. Oh, and one more thing that will make you rethink breakfast forever. Eggs contain a rare antioxidant called ergothioneine, which is produced by bacteria in the hen's gut and concentrated in the egg. This antioxidant has been shown to protect mitochondria, the energy factories inside your cells, from oxidative damage. More protected mitochondria equals more energy production, less fatigue, and slower aging. In fact, a 2023 study from Penn State found that people who ate eggs regularly had measurably higher mitochondrial function compared to those who did not. Your cells literally make energy more efficiently when you eat eggs. This is not bro science. This is published, peer-reviewed research. The secret weapons inside every yolk that regenerate your brain, eyes, and liver. Now we are getting into the deep stuff. The nutrients that most people have never even heard of, but are absolutely game-changing for long-term health. If the first two sections were about what eggs do for your muscles and metabolism, this section is about what they do for your brain, your vision, your liver, and your DNA. And I am warning you, some of this is going to sound too good to be true, but I will cite every claim. Let us start with your brain, because this is personal for a lot of us watching our parents age or feeling our own mental sharpness decline. Eggs are the single best dietary source of choline, bar none. For eggs give you roughly 680 milligrams. For context, your brain needs about 550 milligrams daily just to function optimally, and 90% of Americans do not get even half of that. Choline is the precursor to acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter responsible for memory, learning, focus, and muscle control. Low acetylcholine is directly linked to brain fog, poor memory, and even Alzheimer's disease. But here's the part that shocked me. Choline does not just help your brain now. It actually repairs the insulation around your neurons. That insulation is called myelin, and it is made of fats and phospholipids. When myelin degrades, your brain's electrical signals slow down. You think slower. You recall information slower. You react slower. Choline, especially in the form of phosphatidylcholine found in eggs, helps regenerate and maintain that myelin sheath. A study from Boston University found that people with higher choline intake performed significantly better on memory tests and had a lower incidence of white matter lesions, which are markers of cognitive decline. Now let us talk about your eyes, because this might save your vision, literally. Buried in the deep orange yolk of a pastured egg are two carotenoids, lutein and zeaxanthin. Your retina, the back part of your eye that processes light, has a tiny spot called the macula. This is your high-definition vision center. Over time, blue light from screens, UV radiation, and oxidative stress damage the macula, leading to age-related macular degeneration, one of the leading causes of blindness in people over 60. Lutein and zeaxanthin are the only carotenoids that concentrate in the macula, and they act like internal sunglasses, filtering harmful blue light and neutralizing free radicals. Here's the kicker. The lutein and zeaxanthin in eggs are up to 5 times more bioavailable than the same nutrients from spinach or kale because they are delivered with fat, which your body needs to absorb them. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that people who ate just 1 egg per day for 5 weeks increased their blood levels of lutein by 26% and zeaxanthin by 38%. Imagine what 4 eggs a day could do. And participants reported sharper contrast sensitivity and better night vision within weeks. This is not subtle. This is measurable, noticeable improvement. Next, let us talk about your liver, because your liver is the unsung hero of your entire metabolism, and eggs might be its best friend. Your liver performs over 500 functions daily. It detoxifies chemicals, hormones, and waste. It produces bile to digest fat. It stores glycogen for energy. It regulates blood sugar. And it runs a critical biochemical process called methylation, which is responsible for turning genes on and off, repairing DNA, and producing neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. Methylation requires three key nutrients: choline, folate, and B12. Guess what food has all three in their most bioavailable forms? Eggs. Here is why this matters. Up to 40% of people carry a genetic variation called MTHFR, which impairs their ability to process synthetic folic acid and run proper methylation cycles. These people are at higher risk for depression, anxiety, cardiovascular disease, and even cancer. Eggs provide natural folate, the form your body can actually use, plus the choline and B12 needed to support methylation. This is why people with chronic fatigue, depression, or fatty liver often feel dramatically better when they add eggs to their diet. They are giving their liver and their cells the raw materials to detoxify, rebuild, and regulate. And here is a rare gem most people miss. Eggshell membranes, that thin film between the shell and the white, are loaded with collagen, glucosamine, chondroitin, and hyaluronic acid. These are the exact compounds people spend hundreds of dollars on in supplement form for joint health, skin elasticity, and connective tissue repair. Some traditional cultures actually consume the membrane, and recent studies show it can reduce joint pain and stiffness within 10 days. You do not have to eat the shell, but if you are making bone broth or smoothies, tossing in clean, boiled eggshells with the membrane intact is a legitimate biohack. Eggs are not just food. They are medicine. They are fuel. They are a biological upgrade. And now that you understand what happens inside your body when you eat 4 eggs every day, you have a decision to make. Will you keep listening to outdated advice, or will you trust the science and give your body what it actually needs? The choice is yours. Now go make yourself an omelet.